Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Katowice Royale, and it is crunch time in our duos tournament right now. Two huge performances just coming in from Saf and Zate have given them an incredible lead heading into our two final games. Now, before we get into our two final games, however, we want to just test the creativity of some of our players, I guess you would say. We basically asked them, if you could create a skin in Fortnite, what would it be? Let's take a look.
I would add a liquid jersey. That's what I would do. With my name on the back or something, yeah.
Some sort of invisibility cloak would be good. No limits.
Oh my god.
That'd be fun, yeah.
A Spider-Man skin. If there was one skin, it'd probably be a ghost skin. Maybe something with like ghost logo, and I'd wear that all the time. That'd be my favorite skin.
A lady with a mask and then black skin with like gold details, I think.
Probably pick like a massive just tomato with eyes, and that's literally it. Just hobbles around.
For me, I think, you know the old comic Spider-Man, like when you see the graphics actually moving, but it's like comic book drawn out, and it looked like it just wasn't fitting in the game, and I reckon a skin like that would be pretty good.
I'd probably do a skin that's kind of like the Matrix, maybe, and like it's changing colors with the letters going up and down, something like that.
I don't know if you've ever watched SpongeBob, but you know Plankton? Yeah, his wife, I would make a skin like that, where it's like a robot that's like their face is a monitor and it has like reactive stuff. That'd be cool.
Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
I actually tweeted about that. I want a Goku skin that's reactive, so every 5 kills you go like Kaioken, Super Saiyan 2, 3, and so on and so forth.
Like I know it like because my name Chinken comes from an Austrian called like meal. It's like pancakes, and I would make a palatine skin.
I want a Robin Hood skin, so I'm called Bowman. So I need a skin with a bow or whatever, and I'm fine.
They're just such creative guys, aren't they? I love that, and better ideas than I could probably come up with. But this is what it's all about, gentlemen. The 2 trophies that are sat there waiting for 2 of these players in this duo competition to pick them up. Welcome back to the desk, everybody, and we've got some fresh blood in for the end of the show. Welcome to the desk, Zacubus. You must have been chomping at the bit to get up here and get involved.
Oh, am I so? Oh my God, it's just too hectic. Those back-to-back games coming in from Zap and Safe. Oh, I fear for their lives coming into Loot Lake, coming into this game, because they've got, you know, they have this massive lead, but I think everybody wants them gone straight away. And Stress, you've been shaking in between games there. You've had to calm yourself down a little bit. Just take a few moments, and this is exactly why, because those 2 performances that got you shaking have put Saf and Zate firmly on top of the leaderboards, around 160-point lead there. But Cripper and Boya, they are the ones that could potentially steal this away with 2 big games of their own.
Yes, it's remember that the 2 duos under them in the standings need to not only do well themselves, but then eliminate Zate and Saf. Now remember, we are going up to 20th place for earnings, so all of the names you see still need to perform. They still need to keep going and keep their position in the top 20. This is not just about first place. A lot of it is. Zate and Saf have kind of claimed
we've only got 2
themselves.
trophies to give away, right?
Yeah, right. But for every other duo, you still are playing for those placements. You still are playing to place yourself in that top 20.
Now, Zacubus, put yourself in the position of our team that's in 2nd place at the moment. Do you risk it in this game? Do you think about changing your drop and going for that top spot?
Oh, I don't know. This is the question.
That's not why you're here. I want an answer. I want a yes, I want a no.
Okay, I'm giving you an answer. I think, you know, if you're going for the win and you're dedicated for those trophies, yes, jump in on it. Go full ham, go for the commitment. But the problem is that it's a landing that you're not familiar with. These guys know how to fight that spot like no other. I mean, they took out Mitro and Kuna already. You know, they've already forced them off their home drop. So they're not to be contested with.
Right, and that's the interesting thing, because if you do it and another team does it and everybody else drops there, now that's a bit of a messy situation to be in. So there's a lot of kind of almost the you know, when you have to decide rock, paper, scissors, what do I pick? Because is it the right one? Because you could play a passive game and somebody else takes them out.
Well, should we find out? I think it's a pretty good idea. Round 13 is about to get underway. It's the penultimate game of the ESL Katowice Royale.
It absolutely is, and I wonder whether Zate and Saf will say, no, let's drop somewhere else. Not for now. They're going over divot. We'll see where they land over towards the lake if that is the case. Because that would be one way to mess with everybody, would be change your drop from the beginning.
Yep, I mean, it's a smart move, Stress, just like, you know, go completely incognito, just hide as long as you possibly can in the worst possible drop, get the worst loot, but you might be able to survive long enough to actually acquire some points. But is anybody chasing them in Loot Lake?
Not yet. There are a few teams landing in the peripheral area of Loot Lake. One team up towards the block, 2 teams in Pleasant. There's one on the other side of Loot Lake. I wonder whether that is Mitro, but on screen we just saw Vinny take out Aim Hero incredibly quickly early on in the game for that first elimination. So Vinny and Zexro have said, this is our area, and we will maintain control over this area, regardless of who drops.
I do love the story behind this area, you know, with Aim Hero and Fax Fox coming in, trying to contest it. And it kind of worked for a while, Stress. They actually forced the American pair off the top of Viking Hill quite convincingly, but then they realized, they went, do you know who we are? We're Vinny and Zexro. We're going back up there. We're going to win our drop, and that's what they've done, and they've done it twice in a row now.
Yep, twice in a row, and that surely you have to feel now Aim Hero and Fax Fox will change up their strategy. Is we've seen where the first safe zone is, and it's right where Zayt and Saf are. They have themselves a safe start to this game as well. So we can focus on a lot of the rest of the field as Fax Fox was tidied up by Vinny. This has become a very one-sided fight. Now that Zexro and Vinny have had their game plan challenged and said, okay, how do we actually fight that? Well, we just prove that we can win this every time, and that's what they do.
Oh, yes, they do it so, so well. It was very interesting to see the fights coming out of there earlier on with Aim Hero, because they're very good early aggressors. That's why they dropped tilted. And so they threw off, I think, Zexro and Zaf there at the very start. I think they were always going for the late game, kind of forgot their early game fighting.
Absolutely. We just were on with Smeef, who's in 20th position with his duo right now, Milan. They were the victors in round 9, but 20th is not where you want to be right now because it's an unsafe position. There's so much movement that can go around there. So a good performance here for Smeef and Milan, who you can see are in the area with Mavana and his duo. That really is that moment where if you can convert that into some eliminations, you can put up the points and get yourself even safer on them.
Yeah, I think Milan is happy with his new job going in Salty as well. We were talking about it last night in the restaurant, and he was definitely feeling a lot stronger there. A little bit earlier on, he was doing it in earlier games. But we got a bit of a kickoff here with History and Beehive.
History already with 2 eliminations to his name. We'll see whether Coffee and Beehive can actually control this area, or whether Far and History can bring themselves up the standings. Currently in 30th position, but again, there's so many things that can happen with that group of players around that 20 to 30 that one good game really does change the complexion. So we cannot call this whole series of 14 games over just yet.
Coffee and Beehive got the huge advantage on this high ground right now. They can take their time and pick away at that building, try and find the shots in here, Stress. But what's interesting is that Far and History, their drops usually were resolved around Paradise. They switched up to Salty, but obviously Milan doing the work there, and now they're forced to Pleasant Park.
Yeah, well, Coffee, he's only got 9 balloons left, so shout-outs to him. That's 1 gone. Dakotas, there you go. There's the strat in action. It's already been failed anyway, but Coffee at this point is looking for the fight against Beehive.
You angry about that balloon?
Not at all. Not at all. Coffee is trying to settle himself into this one. This has been a long engage in Pleasant so far. And remember, this is near to where Saf and Zayt are actually, you know, where they landed on Loot Lake. That's a natural transition point for some teams to move out and look for more on the engage as they try and get to the circle. It's Marky looking down from the high ground, looking for anything he can, but looking maybe around the edge. Can he find that angle on Aiden? Aiden and Nick Merckx don't have the high ground, so very difficult at this point for them to come back, but they know Tilted so well.
Nick needs to start using some of these stinks to his advantage here. If he can push out high ground and just cause them to turtle up a little bit, he can pressure them a lot, but...
The strat backfired. Coffee and Beehive have just been eliminated in the kill feed.
Okay.
So that's the 4 eliminations now for the Brazilian duo coming into it. And Riux and Marquis still trying to fight here against Aiden and Nick Merckx. And
the stinks coming out now a little bit, forcing them to move, rotate, but still hiding deep in that building in the basement, not willing to move. A little bit passive here from Nick Merckx and Aiden. Not what you would expect from these duos.
Well, they know the area incredibly well, right? And I think players have started to notice that an aggressive playstyle itself won't actually score you points. So they're in the zone already. They're in the safe area, so they don't necessarily need to take the fight, in my mind,
Yeah,
at least.
true. They don't need to rush it. They just play it safe and wait for that ideal shot that changes the fight dynamic, and then they can push out safely and maybe win it eventually. But we've got Svenos, Anzi, and against Razaru and X8 here at Polar Peak.
Yeah, over at Polo, we'll see whether X8 can find his position. And they're actually going to back away for now. Again, another duo that are in the safe area. You can see it on the bottom of right-hand corner on the minimap. Like, they're safe. We don't need to take the fight until it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, and Svenos in position 27 right now, so all to play for, really. He wants to get back up in that top 20, and this is the game to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where we will see some of the players that are outside of the earnings positions, that top 20. Players that are on the fringe, maybe play a slower game and say, hey, placement points plus a few eliminations will rocket us up the standings, will get us into those positions where we're actually claiming something from this event.
So Svenos, Anzi's managing to hold the high ground now, switching it up a little bit. Razaru X8 slowing it down on the bottom left here. Will they try and back this out? I think they're just trying to farm up more mats and replace the walls here, but they're in the circle.
Svenos is pushing them because of what they're seeing from this as Andiza drops down. Oh, they got the replace on in the edit, but Svenos gets punished for it. It's down to 60 health, and I think Svenos, after dipping his toes in the water, says no, way too freezing cold here, but Razaru wants to follow it up. As trying to look for anything, but again, I think that might spell the end of this engage. Andiza wants it.
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, he has got the 50 shield to play with. He probably knows that X8 hasn't got anything to heal with. He's already done damage and knows there's no shield on him. Maybe that's what's making them overcommit to this fight a little bit. But, you know, if they pick this up at the right time, and oh, lovely edit shot there coming in from Anzi's. Little bit of a scuff shot, but does the damage. Doesn't take any damage himself, and that's important. This is going to give more confidence for Svenos and Anzi to push into this fight.
Yeah, for now they know that they've got Razaru and X8 pinned, basically. So any damage they're getting at this point, surely that, you know, in their advantage, they say, okay, it's more difficult for them to take a fight. Always got to be careful of the shotguns coming through, though. More balloons. I hope people don't think I'm being serious about the balloons, Zach. I really hope people understand dry British humor.
But X8 was doing some crazy quick edits there, got a little bit unlucky on the shot, but we're going to switch over to the action.
Yeah, Zeke and Poverty, one of our duos that have been here with us for all of the action at the Katowice Royale. Just waiting on the edge before they have to move for now. And well, I don't know about rock and roll, but they certainly love eliminations at this point, as X8 and Razaru looked like they had lost out on that exchange.
Aggression pays off, Stress. Aggression pays off. There's some great work coming in from Anzi there as he dominated that fight with some quick edits, quick pokes, and actually just committed to the fight eventually. And, you know, holding defensively all the time, it takes a wear and tear, you know?
Yeah, it does. Certainly does. As we're still on this with Poverty and Zeke. It's all about that movement point as Poverty peeks up, tries to get anything from the top, as it is Muravana that is down on that low ground. And really, this is a slower game than the last one, Zach. The last game I just casted with Martin was shots all the time, constant fighting, but it's Scram that is having to scram away from those stink grenades that are popping off around him. And Poverty actually did just get that elimination as Mavana trades it back in that action feed. We're looking at Hunter and Keenstar trying to pick off third-party Scram as they know he is very low from running through those stink grenades.
Seems like Mitro and Kuno don't want any part of this fight. Looking to dip out on the side there by the petrol station.
Really interesting that we've got Keenstar, Mitro, those both duos doing pretty well on day one, but day two has been a little bit trickier for them to actually find the points. We still have 2 games left to try and get back into it. Trying to maybe find their way up. Keolis does get dropped. Excalibur, we'll see if they can get that revive off. You can hear gliders all around him. Oh, was Hupek?
He's stuck in the camping. This is a terrible bad spot here coming in from these two. There's no way they're getting out of this fight. Excalibur is just, he's going to delay it, the inevitable. These guys are just going to hold it up on the top. Oh, nice skits. Is he going to push it?
Oh, look at how low both Keolis and Excalibur are. They did get the revive off, but it's all about staying alive for another few moments. But such a tricky situation to be in. As Hupekis and Skix Trying to just find where they actually steadied themselves.
Basically, they've done the damage. They know that they can commit to this fight. This is why they're pushing in so aggressively. They're in the zone, so they've got all the time in the world. So that's why they're pushing. Really, I would have waited if we were outside the zone, but things have changed up. Their health is so low. They've got, I think they have med packs, but I don't think they can do anything with them because they're going to keep getting pressured. Campfire, obviously going down there. Nicely done.
Trying to commit to the campfire, but Hoopex and Skix are relentless as the Polish crowd roars for some of the Polish players in this game. Excalibur still somehow alive on 4 health.
How did he do that?
If there's one more stink grenade, it's over for him.
That was incredible from Excalibur, coming in out of nowhere.
He got Hoopex down.
He did. I think he just one-pumped him. It was so fast just there. I barely caught it with the human eye. Oh, I need more hertz on this monitor, I feel.
Well, Skix swipes aside Maxcalibur for the crowd reaction once again, and it is Skix and Hoopex that will survive through that engage. Shinken, Stompy up on the high ground. They have picked up the victory royale for themselves all the way back in round number 3. And they have been doing decently well on the rest of the points, but nowhere near as well as this duo as we're finally taking another look at Zayt and Saf. It's been somewhat of a quieter game for them up until this point, but with Scram and Sakona around, now they have to fight for potentially a 4th victory royale, dare I say, but this is a very tricky position to be in.
Very tricky. I'm surprised they're committing to this fight. Maybe they're just so confident with their point lead that they've got nothing to worry about. And extra points just mean, well, you know, closer to the trophies. And Sakona goes down.
As Zayt is chasing down Scram as well. They're trying to add another 10 points. There's 5 to the total. Add it up, rack them up, and extend that lead.
Pushing in with no shields to their name as well, playing full aggro. This is insane play from Zayt and Saf right now.
Scram, if he gets found by Saf and Zayt, every single one of these things is just extending Zayt and Saf's lead and making it almost impossible for anybody to chase them for first.
They're elimination machines right now, and I think they're just hungry for it. They want to put a show on for us, and I think that this is what they're going to do in this game.
No doubt. Scope Revolver, something the players are talking about. We were listening to them discuss last night about how it's actually good because of Storm Surge, which sounds really weird, but it's about doing damage and just chipping people down. They're trying to find Scram. Scram's hiding. Hide and seek. Count to 100 and hope they go away. They haven't found him yet. He's just staying perfect still.
Oh my god.
Vision is based not on movement, but about sound right now.
It's the T-Rex.
Shh, everybody.
I'm being real quiet.
Stress. They've run away. Scram has managed for now, but he has to wait till they run all the way away.
He's so scared right now.
And the thing is, when the zone moves, is he in the safe zone? Yes, I think he is. Is he just going to stay under this pyramid?
What? Yes?
Surely
that's the only option he has.
More.
He's got 6 HP. What else is he meant to do? Go commit against the 2 best players in the tournament? Are you mental, Stress?
I want to see Scram. I want to see his face right now because he must be biting his nails, just waiting for them to bypass. But nevertheless, the rest of this game continues. Zayt and Saf, they're in a fight already. Who's it with? So we haven't quite seen. It's Cripper and Boya. Now this is a massive engage because this is for the top of the points. You can see it. Cripper is going to drop. Cripper has already been downed as Boya has the RPG, but he knocked Zayt in response. This is such a massive moment in this. And Saf, did he just get Cripper? No. Yes, they get the elimination on Cripper, but Boya survived.
It's still a one-on-one. I think Zayt is down, but Saf could get the pickup here.
There are more people around, and that is what makes this a very difficult situation. Yes, Cripper and Boya are now down to only
Dynamite.
Dynamite is ticking, and they haven't really got a sight on it. All of this cover is getting shredded away as Zayt has fallen. For the first time in a very long time, neither both Saf and Zayt are going to make it to endgame at this rate because look at how many people are closing in on them.
Sticky's coming in thick and fast there as well from another third party. Eric and Motor on the side there. But Boya really wanted Saf there. He had an opportunity to take out the leaders and potentially get his team above a little bit, or catch up at least to that point lead. I mean, we're still not even in the points yet.
Saf is trying to reposition to a more comfortable place, and he's got Boya right next to him. switches up the inventory to make sure he's got that legendary heavy shotgun, but Saf nearly gets shot in the back. Llama's going to try and position himself closer to the fight, but he had to protect himself from power. Scram is still there. Scram is still in this game.
Mate, he could just stay there all day, mate. This little pyramid. He's basically a pharaoh. He's just tombed himself in.
Well, Saf is still going aggressive. This is madness by Zayt and Saf to just say, all right, I'll just get any more points that I can. They've already scored 10 in this game to advance their lead. They were 160 odd points up. Remember, a victory royale, 65 points, so you would have to back-to-back win and get eliminations in order to catch them.
Zaf was on the move there, and now we go over to our third place currently.
And this is a team that could catch them if all of the chips fall in the right way. If Zexro and Vinny can dominate a game.
I'm not going to lie, it's looking good. Boya!
Boya is so very low as Airwax and Nikov are just around the corner, so is Provoked. And if they can actually take them out, that again sets one of those things in motion for Vinny and Zexro, but it's such a numbers game right now. It is so difficult to actually upset the leaders.
Zaf has expanded out, gained some control here, found a safe spot for himself.
Oh, Boya.
And Boya is not safe whatsoever. This rocket launcher
the fight. 1 versus 2 is Boya just trying to disrupt Airwax and Nikov as much as possible. Third parties from every single angle on this fight, and this is balancing on a knife edge.
Very much so. Saf happy with his little 1-by-1 here, I must say, but is Boya finally been eliminated there? I believe he has.
He has. Boya confirmed, but Airwax eliminated as well. Airwax and Nikov were in that top 5, I believe, for this game. Item picks up a big elimination onto Mies as well. Another duo that is in that top 10.
There's going to be some switch rounds, I feel, this game's stress. I think this leaderboard is going to change dramatically through 2 to 10 here.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's all about the rest of the positions moving and setting us up for one final game. But look at the names that are still here. We've got Camo, we've got Saf. Boya had fallen earlier. Nikov is in the mix somewhere here.
Saf. Is Saf down? Zayt was, maybe one of them was down, right?
No, one of them has moved down.
Yeah, sorry.
Zexro are both in the game. They're the only one of our leading...
Vinny and Extra is what I meant, sorry. I misread that situation there, Stress.
It's all good. They're our only top 3 duo that is still both in this game. And Kesa has fallen from this. As you can see, Hunter and Keenstar still alive. Did very well on day 1. And excited to see what they can do in these last few games. Mitro and Kuna, big names as well from Europe up on that right side. And Saf is still alive in this game. Majin just took a blast from Storm Surge.
Yeah.
And he's out. Majin's out.
I believe it was Mitro that actually got the last tap on him.
Yeah. Mitro was given the elimination credit on that exchange. Saf now trying to move, does get shredded as Venos drops for Zexro. These are these elimination points. If they can convert it into that full elimination, that would be what would allow them to climb. Down to 50 health is Saf, and he manages to find himself a low ground position.
Hunter going down, Keenstar's teammate. That'll be them eliminated from the game. Saf able to heal up there, whacking up some bandages, but, you know, Vinny, Zexro, they had a great circle going into this. They're coming off from the high ground. They should be relatively safe, providing that they pick their fights wisely here. Just go for the rotation and try and avoid people.
And it's quite a similarly heighted storm, if that makes sense at all. Nobody has built up right now, so there's a lot of kind of level pegging through this as Jamside is still alive. Saf trying to rain fire out through the window on Bizzle. If he could pick this up, this would be huge. To
Everybody else is joining in on that fight as well. Bizzle's getting pressured from both sides here, and now he can't find a spot to heal, and the storm.
7 SSK7 has fallen as well. There's a lot of names going in that action feed as Zeke, Vilex, Kinzel, all have fallen. Cloud and Myth still in this game and have had a surprisingly good tournament. Day 1, they really performed, but day 2, we've seen consistent performances out of some of the duos that had already assumed top spots. Vinny and Zexro, one of them that have had to bounce back through Aim Hero and FaxFox, challenging them at the beginning of every single game.
And they're just sitting pretty on that high ground at the moment, Stress. Izza and Camo at the bottom too. Rotations will be happening now as the zone is on the move.
Saf is up in the air at this point, and the reason we are following him is every single elimination makes this game so much harder for the two duos, Tripper and Boya and Vinny and Zexro, to actually pick up. Nearly 200 points would be required for Vinny and Zexro to get back into the first spot, and Saf is making it more difficult with every second that he stays alive, claiming placement points.
How is he finding the way out of these situations? I don't understand. He's been in the middle of every single fight at the moment. Saf is still up and running, spamming out those mats, tunneling out and getting safe into the zone.
Two names we haven't seen too much today, Animal and Aspect, right up at the top of this structure, have managed to stay alive. And Scram, from being under the pyramid, has stayed alive and is back healthy in this game. Again, Saf nearly gets another elimination, but it cannot quite get it. That's Shinken dropping to Envy for their third elimination of this game, and they're trying desperately to follow this storm.
And the action is just kicking off here. Saf really right close to Alpha there. Is he going to make a move? He's going to play it slow. Just wait for the circle to close in behind him a little bit, then make the space and try and find some elimination.
Surely there's no way he can do it. Solo, surely not. Like, that has to be an insurmountable task with 21 players still alive. Cloud has fallen in this game, as you can see at the top, and Saf has got Myth as well. He is just beast mode on everybody in this game. 18 kills remaining, and this might be the best competitive performance we have ever seen from a duo in Fortnite.
Oh my god, he's not even duo though, Stress. He's by himself.
Alone, and he's getting pushed by Kuna and Mitro. Two of Europe's top names are looking for that elimination. Camo is there. Nate is there. Saf is in such a bad position to be in, and surely he can't get out.
He's got a launch pad though. If he can find it in the storm to place it down, he can get out!
Not in. He's managed to save himself and find a single metal floor. What is even happening?
You can't trap Saf. He's too unstoppable right now.
He's healing up while everybody else is fighting, and we have to follow him in this game. Yes, there are so many big names. There's Mitro, there's Skype, there's Zexro, and Vinny is still alive in this, and surely they have the advantage. They are the duo that is sat in the top. They've got a victory royale for themselves. Vinny and Zexro have to be enough, and that's it for Saf and Zayt, but what a performance in this game. We move on with the rest of the field. Animal and Aspect still alive themselves. And they're trying to take the high ground.
Vinny has just gone down, Stretch, and Zexro is really, really low, but it's coming down to the last 4 people alive here. 3 teams up. How's it going to end, Stress?
3 players left as Animal gets taken out. It's Aspect, and he gets Zexro to pick up the victory royale for Animal and Aspect in round 13. And a great performance from Animal and Aspect, picking up their second victory royale. Now only the second duo to do that in this tournament, and a really good performance as well. We were so focused on Saf, Zayt, Vinny, Zexro that, you know, we talked about the rest of the field doing well, trying to get their way up the leaderboard, and that is exactly what Animal and Aspect do. Again, reaffirming the high ground, taking the end of that game.
Incredible stuff then from the duo of Animal and Aspect. But, I mean, fantastic stuff from them. But we need to talk about a couple of things that happened in that game. One is Saf does not get eliminated. He stays alive. It doesn't matter how many players are trying to cut him down. He will stay alive, and he will pretty much, with that performance, those points that he gets on the board, and he still managed to pick up eliminations on the way. They must be not just one hand on the trophies. They must be pretty much entirely surrounding them at this point.
We will get the points. Scram was the one that eliminated Saf. So after Saf and Zayt were running around under the pyramid, Scram's just like, yeah, all right, I'll come back out from playing hide and seek and just take that elimination. Big elimination in that game.
And there's a story there with Scram as well. How long did he survive for? A 6 HP warrior manages to go all the way to, but Vinny and Zexro, they managed to get a top 3 performance, I believe. Yeah. Well, or maybe top 4, I'm not entirely sure. It was very close, but they were so close to when Saf went down as well. So the point gain is not going to be that helpful, I'm afraid.
Yeah, they needed to have a huge game, and I'm not sure if they managed to pick up enough points in that game to give themselves a viable shot, maybe of taking down Saf and Zayt. And I think Zayt's going to be saying to Saf right now, dude, thank you so much. I mean, that's pretty much solidified us at the top of the leaderboard. But how did you survive in some of those situations? Zacubus, coming under so much pressure, how much more difficult is it to edit your way out of certain situations?
About a billion times. About a billion times. I mean, just any aspect of your one-by-one box. If you're standing in the corner, it's weirdly different to edit your stuff. If you're closer to the wall, it's weirder. It's just, and you're getting shot at multiple angles and building at the same time. Like, he's too fast.
Okay, well, I think it's time to hear from our winners of the last game. Congratulations to Animal and Aspect on the Victory Royale.
Thanks, Mark. I am here with the lads. Animal and Aspect are Game 13 winners. Yes! Man, you guys are great today. What a great crowd. What a performance. Your second Victory Royale in this duos competition. Walk us through the end game. What happened?
We had a rift to go and basically had a hype for free and held it from there in an RPG. So honestly, wasn't too bad and ended on a hill, so that made everything a little bit easier too.
I mean, you guys seemed very much in control there. Talk us through the actual day itself. We spoke to you yesterday. Today, as it's gone so far, the first 6 games. How have you guys coped today? How's the competition been?
Today's been really rough compared to yesterday. It's just, we're not used to playing with Storm Surge. It's been a little buggy, but we've had a few good games, trying to finish out strong. That game was on some gangs, so just want to keep it going.
I mean, you guys have been, we've seen so many teams be so consistent, and you really have been consistent the entire time. Whatever happens in this tournament, you must walk away as well really pleased with how you performed.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really proud of how we played. We're not acclimated to Storm Surge that much, and we died to a bug at a really bad time. So besides that, I think we've been playing pretty well. I'm happy.
Well, we're certainly very happy for you guys as well. Congratulations on your Game 13 win. One more time for Animal and Aspects. Well done, guys. One more game to go. One more game left in this duos ESL Katowice Royale. Cannot wait to see what happens. It's all on. Back to you guys. Wow.
Thank you, Adam. Animal and Aspect then pretty happy with their performance. We talked about them before things even kicked off as being one of those duos who we expect to see kind of rise the ranks and really challenge as we see them more and more competing in tournament play.
Right. They you know, we had a few warm-up games before day 1, and they crushed both and went, oh, this is so easy. Like, we're going to crush this. And they have been doing very well. Just another duo picking up that second Victory Royale for themselves. So definitely one to watch going into this last round.
Yeah, they're going to jump up the ladder considerably. They were 13th there, and I think, you know, easily a top 10 placement now. They've done enough, I think.
Now, the question for you guys, we've got one final game to come. It has been an incredible couple of days of action, as well as the day before that of the solos. But the question I put to you right now is, will this final game be the Zayt and Saf victory lap, or will Vinny and Zexro, who held on to that first place for so long, do something? I'm going to put it this way. It would be a miracle at this point, but can they pull off the miracle?
Well, it would require a Victory Royale with almost 20 kills, with Saf and Zayt being eliminated early.
Yeah,
I think the fast math is just about right, so that's the insurmountable task. But, I mean, looking at how Zayt and Saf have performed, if Vinny and Zexro channel that, then there's, you know, we've seen like 13, 14, 15 elimination games. You
never know.
It could be close.
One thing that we should highlight there is Animal and Aspect with that Victory Royale as well have moved up to 9th place now, so in the top 10, which is absolutely fantastic for them. And Ghost and Issa were just outside the top 10 as well, and they've been dangerous all day. Who should we be keeping an eye on, Zacubus, in this final game? Is it going to be the victory lap that we need to kind of celebrate for Zayt and Saf here?
I mean, sticking with the way that Saf just played, I mean, you could just watch him all day, right? I mean, he's just absolutely insane. But, you know, what's quite a surprise is that DMO and Bizzle have now just shot up the ladder to their 4th. That's incredible as well. They're a team to be watching out for as well. Just imagine if they can get a surprise 2nd place here.
Okay, guys, fantastic stuff as always. And I'm kind of heavy-hearted in saying this, and the fact that we only have one game to come. But we are going to go to a break. We've got through 2 days of duos action. One more game to bring you at home. We'll be back right after this.